Happy Thursday. So I hope everybody's doing well. Just a little update on what's happening. Watching the end of the Maya Kowalski trial. Oh my goodness. They did, they're working right now on punitive damages. And believe it or not, they were awarded $250 million in their lawsuit, which is amazing. So tonight we are working on, where is the stamp set? Here it is right here. This is an online exclusive that was just released. It's called Garden Meadow, and it is a cute little stamp set. It has coordinating dies that I can't show you because they're all over the place. And very pretty scenic paper. Let me just pull it out here. Lots of different designs of just meadow scenes, which are just so pretty, right? Hey, Kathy. And then the backs are just plain. So we are going to create with this set tonight. I figured we'd get off Christmas and do something a little different. So I made three projects tonight. The first one, you'll remember we did this as a mystery card, but tonight what I did is I actually cut the inside of the paper and then embossed the one section, hey Mimi Cakes, and then used the center as my focal point and colored some of the images. The second one, this die, the arch, is actually in the die set. And it comes with this cute little fence. And then I have the paper in the back. And just a garden of flowers on the inside. And then a cute little purse that actually holds, you can see there's two little snack Kit Kats in it. So that's fits perfectly in there. So we have a little bit of coloring tonight. So let's get started. And I just want to update everybody also on Jenny Apple, a YouTuber that I've been following for the last year. I believe I had told you during my mystery card that I dedicated to her, and I actually put it in the mail. Hey Karen, hey Casey, how are you? She actually passed away on the 5th of November. So I just wanted to let everybody know. All right, so we're going to start with, and there was something else I wanted to tell you. It'll come to me. So we're going to start with basic white, and it's 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. And you don't have to keep track of the measurements. I will, got the wrong insides. I will have a PDF for you tomorrow. I want to start on this card first, and I pulled the wrong one. All right, so we are going to layer this with a layer of Highland Heather. And this is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And we are going to adhere this down, and I'm going to do that first. My room and table is a mess. Oh my goodness. I've been trying to clean the house, moving furniture and rearranging and cleaning, and so everything else suffers. If I do this, the house suffers. If I work on the house, crafting suffers. So I can't win. Hey, Do. I, I can't figure it out. I have so much trouble with everything online. It's getting very discouraging. All right. Then I took the designer series paper, and this is actually, I believe, 5 1/4 by 4. Let me just grab my ruler. Here it is. Let me just check. And it's 5 1/4 by 4. All right. So here is our 5 1/4 by 4. And then I took the stitched rectangle die and I cut out the center. So you can see this is the center. And then the remainder, I ran it through the cut and emboss machine with the Basics 3D embossing folder. All right. And this layer is going to be adhered to the front of the card. And I'm going to make sure that we put glue all the way around. So it sticks really good. So I ended up calling our trash company and scheduled them to pick up the 2 recliners that I replaced and a love seat. And they were supposed to pick it up today, and they didn't, so it's still sitting outside. All right, so there is the front so far. Then I grabbed the scallop contour dies, and this is the 2 1/2 by 3 3/4, and die cut it from Highland Heather. So I'm going to take that stitched rectangle piece and I'm going to adhere it to the scalloped contour. I'm going to hate when they get rid of this scallop contour because I love it. All right. Easy peasy. No, it is not Mimi Cakes. I agree. I don't get notifications for a couple days usually. I hate it. All right, so we're going to pop this up onto the front of our card. And when I put it on, I'm going to just try to match and center this on the front. And that looks like it's a little crooked. Let's try that again. I'm standing over it and looking over my camera. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, so here's our focal point. And then we have the piece in the back. Hi, Tony. That is embossed. All right, next we have our flowers. And I already stamped it and die cut it. I'm going to move my camera down. Hopefully it doesn't get fuzzy. But we're going to color this. So I stamped it in smoky slate because I didn't really want the lines to be seen that much like it would be if we used the basic black. Now I would use my Stamping Right marker, but the tip on it, you can't really get your lines all that thin, and I didn't want them to show up. So I just took a fine line marker that is Mossy Meadow, and I am just going to darken those stems, and then I'm just going to put some grass down here. Okay, easy. And then I am going to grab my light granny apple green, and I'm just going to very carefully color the leaves. And we're not being fussy. The areas to color are very small, and the nib is pretty large. And I don't really like using the brush too much because it runs. So I'm going to add some again to the bottom. All right. And then I'm going to take light and dark Highland Heather and light fresh freesia. And I'm going to take the fresh freesia, and all I'm going to do, you can see these little flowers on the top, right? All I'm going to do, instead of coloring, I am just going to put some dots and fill in the space with dots. All right, that's fresh freesia. Then I'm going to take the Highland Heather, and I'm going to add some Highland Heather dots just to fill in and make it look as if it has some texture. All right. And then we're going to take the dark Highland Heather, and we're going to add in a few more dots. So nothing fancy, but just something to color our image, right? Makes it really easy. So there's that. And then I also did the smaller one. Exactly the same way. Hello, hello. All right, so we'll pull our card back in. I need another piece of basic white. Let's just do this first. And we're going to stamp our happy birthday. And I'm going to stamp it in Highland Heather. So yeah, I almost ran late watching, like I said, the Maya Kowalski trial ended, and they ruled in her favor. And then now they're working on punitive damages. And this is retired, this punch, but it's another one of my favorites, and I don't think I'll ever get rid of it. And I just stamped the happy birthday in Highland Heather. All right, we're going to close this up so we don't have any accidents. And we're going to pull our card back in. So we're going to take the larger of the flowers. So they're doing their closing arguments for the punitive damages. And I happened to look at the clock. It was like, oh no, I got to go. He gets so involved. Jeez, these people, it's almost like you know them. All right, and then you could see I was stamping on the back. I'm going to pop up this smaller piece of flowers, and we're just going to overlap it right there in the corner. And then we're going to take our sentiment, and we're going to grab some smaller, get rid of that garbage and that garbage, smaller dimensionals, and we're going to put 2 on here. And we're just going to line it up, make sure it's on there straight. For our happy birthday. Now I did already color my ribbon, and this is the soft seafoam ribbon, and I colored it with dark Highland Heather to give it a nice hue. And we're just going to quick tie a bow. So is everybody doing good? I can't believe The weather has been so nice. I don't know, have you been crafty? Ah, things do. All right, so tie our ribbon, get it off our fingers, and let's look for, here they are. We're just going to cut our tails. Make sure that our loops are the same. And let's grab a glue dot. I know there was something else I wanted to tell you. What the heck is it? All right, I am going to stick this time, I'm going to stick the ribbon up here on the flowers. And there is the front of our first card. Let's pull this back up now that we're not really coloring. All right, so for the inside, I was going to say, did I not do it? I just grabbed I think it's 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, and it is. And I'm going to grab, here is the gate. Now there is a top and a bottom, and you'll notice that when you're looking at it, one end has little tiny blades of grass. All right. So we're just going to ink this up with the smoky slate. And I'm just going to stand up so I can see. Line this up pretty well centered. And this one I actually added them, and I'm just looking, and I only have one. So we're just going to add the one to this card. I'm just going to add it just like that. Okay. We have 5 1/4 by 4. And we are going to add some seals so we don't see the glue through the layer. And we're going to add it to the center of our card. Now, if you like this paper and you like the stamp set, I would suggest you buy it sooner rather than later, because these are the embellishments that go to this set, and these are back ordered. You can't get them right now. So there is our first card. Pretty quick and easy, right? And it showcases the paper perfectly. All right, we're going to jump to this card. We're going to, again, start with a basic white layer, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. Scored at 4 1/4. All right. And we're going to, again, layer it up. Whoops. Make sure I have all my pieces here. There we go. So we're going to layer it up with some Highland Heather. And this is 5 1/8 by 4 1/8. So this is going to be on the front of the card as our matte base. Now I did something just a tad different for tonight's card, and I'll show you why, as I noticed it after I took the photos and got it all done. I'm just going to trim this. It's a little bit off. There we go. All right. So here's my card. Now you'll notice, if you look at it at the side, I do have a lot of dimensionals there, but it's sinking because it's embossed. This front layer is embossed and it's thin. And I didn't like how it looked. So what I'm going to do is I am going to adhere the seam directly to our designer series paper. Sorry. So how I did this was I took my 5 1/4 by 4, and here is the die, and I just lined it up, ran it through my cotton emboss machine, and when it was done, I again ran this through with the 3D and basic 3D embossing folders. All right. So I don't want it to be so flimsy. So we're going to, I'm going to adhere this first. So let's just put our glue, because I just don't like it when it is buckled. All right. So here's our designer series paper. I am going to adhere this to our designer series paper. I'm just going to lift it so we get it on here so it's pretty centered. A little bit of glue. All right, so it looks much better. Then I am going to adhere this layer, and this is a little bit smaller than this. I'll show you this way. It's just a hair smaller, and I'm going to adhere it to this piece just to make it a little bit sturdier. Make sure it's on there straight. And then I'm going to pop this whole layer up. So I still want it to pop up, but I just didn't like the way it was buckled. Make sure the card opens the right way. All right. So we're just going to center this on the front of the card. Just like that. All right, see, it looks a little bit more sturdy than this one. All right, so we're going to go back to our fence. Now I'm going to have to run it through. Hopefully the die is right here. Yes, it is. Run it through the cotton emboss machine. But what I'm going to do first is I am going to grab some dark smoky slate, and we are going to do this back, and I probably didn't do it in dark. It's probably light. It is. All right, so we're going to do it in light smoky slate, and that is that back crossbar. because it's sitting back behind. I want it dark. Now you see how I made a mistake there. So I am going to grab my color lifter and I'm just going to go over it a little with the color lifter just to lighten it up a little bit. All right. And then I wanted something a little lighter, so I'm going to use a Copic gray. And I'm just going to outline each of these slats. Just to give it a little bit of a weathered look. Now we won't see these posts. I am going to do this one though. All right. And then I'm just going to take a black marker, and it looks like there's little nails in these boards. And that looks good. All right, so it just gives the gate a little bit of character. So let me just grab the die, line it up, and it might be upside down. And it was. And give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to run it through really quick. All right, so here's our gate. And like I said, you can see a little bit of grass down here. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I am going to cut the gate in half. All right, so there we have our gate. So now we can pull our card back in. And I'm going to add glue just to this outside piece. And we're going to put it right along the side of the frame. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. Let's pull it down. All right, so there's our gate. And I forgot to do my hello, which is okay. Let's grab a piece of... Here's an extra piece of designer series paper. This is what I did on the other card. This one I was going to stamp first, but I didn't. We're going to just grab our hello. And I'm going to stamp it right on the designer series paper. Now bear with me. I am going to fussy cut the hello. Now remember, when you fussy cut, you want to move the paper you're cutting and not your scissors. It makes it much easier. And you'll get smoother cuts with your scissors. And I'm sorry I forgot to do this. I know everybody hates watching somebody fussy cut. It's like watching paint dry, isn't it? All right, so there's our hello. We're just going to add a bit of glue. Pull our card back in. And we're just going to sit this right there. All right. It fits right there on the top. Now, I colored my flowers the same way I colored for the other one, the other card. And we're going to add some dimensionals. Here it is. I was going to say what happened. My pokey tool walked off. So we're going to take one and we're going to hide this side of the gate. We want to make sure our flower is on there straight. And then this one, again, we want to make sure that flower is on there straight. And then I grabbed the embellishments, if I can get it out. And we're going to add a little dragonfly here. And a little dragonfly here. Whoops. Fell out of my hand. There we go. And there is the front of our second card. Yeah, this paper is really pretty. I've heard so many different things about the paper. I think it's a love-hate relationship. Some people love it. Some people don't like it at all. All right, so now we are going to do the inside of the card. So it's going to take us a couple minutes, but we're going to take that tall flower again and our smoky slate, and we're going to put one here and one here. And then we are going to grab, hopefully it's in here. Yep, here it is. This smaller bunch of flowers. I'm going to start in the center and put one here and one here. Our little garden. And I am actually going to just add some grass along the bottom. And we want to add it to our image too. I think I went across, yeah. So we're just decorating the inside. All right, so let's take care of our stems. And then we're going to do the same thing again. Let's grab our light granny apple green. Take care of our leaves. So tonight, and this one, let's just get some. Just going to go across the bottom with some granny apple green. Okay, I don't think there's any green in there other than these little stems. And then we're going to go back to our light Highland Heather. Let's start with the light fresh freesia. So we're just going to dot our flowers. This is light Highland Heather. And here's dark Highland Heather. So we're just going to add a few more. All right. I'm going to grab the light Highland Heather again. That's fresh freesia. And there are tiny little flowers in the back here. So I'm just going to do these, and I'm just dotting them. There are just teeny little flowers. And then I'm going to take Dark Daffodil Delight, and we're going to color these larger flowers in Dark Daffodil Delight. And I'm not doing them fussy, just doing little circles to fill it in. It's so tiny. And then I'm going to take Light Pumpkin Pie and just dot the center of our flowers. So there's the inside. Let's grab some seal. Layer it up. And then we can add it to the center. What are those plants? Good question. Not sure what I want to say they're like bluebells, aren't they? Don't they look like bluebells? I'm not really too sure. You can see them right here. They look like little flower bunches. All right, so there is card number 2. Grape hyacinths, that's what they are. Thank you. That's what they are. So there is our second card. All right. So now let's do this little box. So again, we're going to have some coloring to do. And because I did not color anything. And I'll do it quick. So for the wheelbarrow itself, I actually did it in colored pencils. So I'm just going to quick color the wheelbarrow in a light layer of blue. All right, so we want just a base coat of our blue. Very quick. Then we're going to take the same color and we're going to add pressure, and I should have sharpened it. You don't really want to color with colored pencils without them being sharpened. And we're going to add our shadow underneath all these leaves and the lip of that wheelbarrow. All right. And then I'm just going to pull the color down and pull the color down. And then I'm just going to color it again. Just quick and easy. Then I'm going to take a darker blue and I'm going to just go around where I added those shadows once again. Just quick and easy. Okay. Then I'm going to go back to that Copic because it's nice and light. And I'm going to do the legs and all these bars just like that. I'm going to take a black marker and just put some grips on those handles. And then I am going to grab, where did it go? Here it is. This is the light smoky slate. And I'm going to do the legs that are in the back because they're farther away, so they'll be darker. Okay. And then we're just going to do the inside of the wheel. That's probably too dark. And I'm just going to darken up that inside. And then for the wheel itself, I think I'm going to use this one again. Just color it in so it's not so dark. And I'm just going to grab my blue marker, add a little bit of a shadow. All right, so quick and easy. Now we have our flowers. So I'm going to stick with the same Granny Apple Green. And we're going to color in all our leaves. Oh, I forgot a spot. I think I got them all. Let me just color this in blue. All right. Then we're going to grab that Daffodil Delight again. And we're going to do our flowers. And there's a lot in here, so I'm not going to be too fussy. I'll show you why in a second. Okay, so we got our yellow flowers. We're going to grab our pumpkin pie and dot the centers. And then we're going to grab our light Highland Heather. And it looks like these same flowers are in this wheelbarrow. So again, we're just going to dot just to fill in that space. Grab the fresh freesia and lighten them up. All right. And then some Highland Heather Dark. Oh, that's not Highland Heather Dark. There we go. Just add a few little dots. To fill in space. And then we're going to grab some dark old olive and we're going to fill in some of this white in here. That's all the greenery that's in the background. All right, so there is our wheelbarrow. Then I have a little basket of flowers. And I have copper clay, dark and light. And we're going to get the back of that handle. And we're going to go underneath like that. And then we're going to just take the light copper clay and color in the rest of the basket. So quick and easy, nothing fussy, right? Instead of stressing out, just have some fun. All right, now I am going to grab a brown marker, and in this basket, there are little tiny lines. There's a few on the handle. All right, just put the details back. So we're going to go back to our granny apple green. And we're going to just color these leaves. This month in my Patreon group, the coloring class is using, believe it or not, we're using pencils this month. And we're going to do that black magic technique, which is pretty fun. All right, so I'm just filling in the gaps again. Okay, so there's not so much white. And then we're going back to our Daffodil Delight. So quick and easy, right? I'm just going to grab this. I see one spot right there. And then our pumpkin pie. Let's put some centers. All right, so now our images are colored. So let's make our little box. Or pocketbook, actually. So we're going to start with a piece that's 4.5 by 4 3/4. Okay? With the 4 3/4 at the top of your scoreboard, you're going to score it at 2 and 2 3/4. Then you're going to turn it and you're going to score it at 3/4 and then 3 3/4. Okay? So let's fold and burnish. This is a real simple little purse. We're going to grab our scissors and we're going to cut it and then angle it. And cut it and angle it. All right, so there's our tab. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay? And then we're going to fold it up. And I'm going to actually, I think I'll use seal. This way I don't have to hold it. So we're going to put some seal on our tab first. And then we're going to line it up. Okay, so there is one side. And then let's add some seal. And then close it up. And just make sure it's lined up. And the same on this side. All right, so there's our little purse. Next, I grabbed some designer series paper. And it's 3 by 2. And this is the one, I just have to cut it off a little bit. I want to do 2 7/8 by 1 7/8. I didn't want the whole box. So it's 2 7/8 by 1 7/8. And we're just going to adhere this to the front. All right. Whoops. And while that's drying, we're going to take our, I think they're 4.5, 4 3/4 by 1/4, and we're just going to give them a little bit of a curl. All right. And while we're waiting, we're just going to add some glue so it'll dry. Give it a couple minutes to dry. All right. So we're just going to turn it so the handle is twisted. Okay, and we're going to adhere this to the inside of the box on both sides. Just have to hold it for a second till it adheres. Turn it over. I already added my glue, and the same thing. Just twist it, and then we want to just line these up with the handles on the front. And let's just hold that for a few minutes. Just so it sticks. Aw, thanks, Karen. All right, so there's our handles. So now all we have to do is put our pieces on. So I am going to pop up our wheelbarrow. And we're going to just put it on here so it is straight. And we're going to pull in our little basket of flowers. And we are going to actually pop this one up on 2 dimensionals. And we're going to stick that right here in the corner. Let's grab that scrap, and we're going to use that happy birthday again. I was going to say if I can find it, but there it is. And let's punch it out. And this one, we are going to just glue it on. So a little bit of glue. And we're going to stick it right across that tire. And I have a little bit of ribbon left, so let's tie a bow. And call it a day. So if you are interested in any of these products, when you go to the online store, you would click on, I believe, what's new or happening now. It probably is right there on the front page also. But these products are listed under online exclusives. They are not in any, I'm looking for my pokey tool. Here it is. They're not listed or in any catalogs. They are online only. So you may want to take a look. There's a lot of different new products that you might like. Some are fun. And then there's, a lot of different things. New kits. I don't know how you feel about kits. And like I said, this little box holds 2 little Kit Kats. All right. So there is our little purse. Here is our card to say hello. Let's move that out of the way. And then here, oops, off the screen. Let's move this up. I don't want to move it too far. You'll see my desk. It's a mess. Our purse. And then our happy birthday card. So I hope you like them. If you would like these make and takes, just place a $35 order with that host code that's on the screen, and I will send them to you as my way of saying thank you. So I'll be back tomorrow at 10. The card tomorrow is a little bit more involved, and it is using this set again. All right. So enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks, Mimi Cakes. And I will see everybody tomorrow at 10. You're welcome, Karen. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye.